Hello and welcome to another Nameless character introduction session. Here we have Hugh, who did play Airdrie and now plays Blaze, and played Blaze for a little while now. Say hello, Hugh.
Hello, everybody. How are you?
Everybody's fine. I'm going to answer
That's
for them.
good.
Everybody's fine. Okay, so you are another original member of the Nameless lot, as in player characters. You've been there from right at the start, but you have changed character because Airdrie died, R.I.P.
Very traumatically, yes.
Very traumatically.
Heroically and traumatically.
Yes, indeed. And you, in her place, you brought Blaze, the barbarian.
Yes.
So what was some of the inspiration behind creating Blaze?
Well, I had never played a barbarian before. My default is I always tend to like to go for magic casters. But so having Airdrie having died, I thought it was a good opportunity to put another fighter in the team because there was still a lot of squishies in the team that needed protecting, and it gave me an opportunity to pull out a barbarian and give that a whirl.
Okay, and what about his personality and kind of...
Yeah, so I kind of wanted to steer away from kind of almost the cliche barbarian of just being mindless killing machine. So I wanted to make him a bit smarter, so I put a lot of points into stats, into intelligence and wisdom, and so he would be, in theory, be a lot brighter. But I wanted to balance that by then making him kind of be socially awkward and totally inept, kind of almost a bit on this autistic spectrum, quite bright, quite intelligent, knows what's going on, but then just clueless to what's going on around him, so just says the first things that come to his mind and puts his foot in it all the time and that kind of a thing.
But we love him. We love him for that. Okay, and the actual artwork of Blaze, where did you get inspiration from that? Did you?
Well, yeah, because I think I was just trying to imagine the character from when I was creating him. So because I knew he was going to be a fire genasi, I thought, well, let's build around that. So I wanted to make his skin really quite dark, so it was almost like he was like a lump of coal, but then give it a bit of an ashy, smoky kind of appearance to the skin to soften a little bit. But then to make him more dynamic, I wanted the hair and the eyes to sort of be the part that's really alive and moving. So I made them kind of fiery, with the yellow and the red, so that when his head moves his head, the hair whips around and looks like fire moving, and his eyes are bright and darting around everywhere. But then being a barbarian, I wanted the hair to still kind of be intimidating. I didn't want this floppy kind of head of hair. So I went for the whole mohawk sort of look, and then wanted him to be really big and intimidating for this guy that's actually probably quite soft and lovable, but to have him be quite a physical presence, being really tall and quite muscular and kind of standard barbarian looking.
He is one of the coolest looking ones in Nameless, I think. Just the visual image of Blaze is impressive.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Okay, so tell us a little bit about Blaze's backstory before he got to Nameless.
So classic D&D, traumatic childhood. Actually, no, the childhood itself was relatively normal. But then, in his mid-teens, as would happen, his whole family gets slaughtered because his dad had some debts. So some thugs came in and sort of wiped out his parents and his sisters. He still doesn't know what the debts were, so he hasn't got around to finding that out. But that sort of triggered his first rage in this little town that he was living in. And he sort of went rampaging through the town trying to find whoever did it, killed a couple of people on the way, eventually found the people and killed them. But then when he sort of came to from the rage, he realised what he'd done and was completely remorseful. And the town kind of, while he was arrested, they kind of sympathised with him because they knew the family was nice and they had all been murdered by these thugs. So he was sort of let out, and then was, for a little couple more years, was looked after by someone else in the town until he was I can't stay here. He felt too much guilt and remorse. So he was at about 18, he pushed out into the world and wanted to sort of discover who he was, and sort of make himself bigger and stronger to be able to help defend people who aren't able to defend themselves, like his family.
And that's what led him to Nameless.
Yeah, well, he sort of travelled around for quite a while and then thought it would be kind of more useful if you could find a group that always had a mission and a target, something to do, as opposed to just wandering aimlessly, doing little bits, which is how he ended up at Nameless, to replace their obviously not quite as good fighter because they were killed. So he had to step in and Fill that gap.
Yeah, I'm sure Endo would have words to say if he heard somebody speaking that way about Erdre. Okie dokie, so that's like a little bit of a intro into Blaze, and now we're going to meet Blaze, and Blaze is going to answer some questions for us. So, Blaze, what is your favourite word?
Well, I mean, it's very cliche, I admit, and it's very predictable, but rage is my favourite word. It's when I feel most alive.
Okay, yeah, I mean, that seems fair. What is your least favourite word?
And to counter that, revivify. Firstly, I mean, it's just really hard to say. And secondly, it's never a good time when someone needs that word spoken over them. And there was no one around to say it for me when I needed it most. So that's my least favourite word.
Okay, that seems fair. So what turns you on creatively, spiritually, or emotionally?
Well, I end each day writing in my journal. And this world is full of absolute craziness, and the life that I get to live is actually pretty crazy as well. It leads me on lots of adventures and exposes me to situations which are pretty strange. Even fairly daring people might find some of these stories unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to be able to record my life, and that way, once I'm done, I won't have to worry about someone else trying to like making up and telling stories wrong or embellishing stuff. I'll have archived it, and I'll be able to share it with everyone as they can read it as though they lived it with me.
Sounds amazing, actually. And what turns you off?
Ugh, uncharitable people. I mean, I'd much rather be a pauper and go on an adventure and share it with everyone than be some rich, lonely person afraid to go out and see the world because I'd rather just be hoarding their money. Oh, and water gymnastics. Ugh, they're just kind of gross. I mean, they douse my sparkle, if you know what I mean.
Yes, I can understand what you mean there. Okay, what is your favourite curse word?
That depends who's listening. I mean, I try not to curse in front of the little ones.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it's fuck knuckle. I feel it really gets the message across, you know, like, you stupid fuck knuckle. And it just always makes me laugh.
Yeah, okay. What sound or noise do you love?
I suppose the crunch of cartilage as I'm smashing my fist into someone's nose is pretty good. But the noise I truly love is the scratch of my quill across the parchment as I record my adventures. It just gives me shivers and makes me really, really happy.
Oh, that's nice. And what sound or noise do you hate?
The sniveling of like a bested enemy is like begging for their life, knowing that like if the tables were turned, they'd kill me without hesitation. But they're like, please don't kill me. Ugh, it's just wrong on every level.
Okay. And what profession other than adventurer would you like to attempt?
Well, I mean, probably if you're really listening, you're probably able to work it out. I think I'd like to be an author or a historian. I mean, I really enjoy writing stuff down and being able to write. It's just an amazing way. I think that would be a really cool, fun job. I mean, I wouldn't want to be a bard. I hate the talking in front of people and all of that sort of stuff. But just being able to actually write stories and have others tell them, that would be a joy.
Sounds amazing. What profession would you not like to do?
I don't know, something like official, like a town mayor or someone in that kind of upper echelon, in finger quotes, kind of. They're just boring. They're stuck. They can't go anywhere. They can't travel. They can't do anything. They just have to spend all day worrying about other people's problems and have everyone whinging to them. And usually they're fuck knuckles, to be fair.
Yeah, quite a miserable existence, I think. Okay, and if the afterlife exists, what would you like to hear your god say when you arrive?
Bloody hell, that was quite a ride. Want to go again?
I like it. I like that. Okay, well, thank you very much for your time, Blaze.
Well, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
It's nice to let everyone hear my story.
Yes, and I'm sure we'll all read it when you've finished writing it.
Well, it's going to be long. There's going to be a lot of adventures.